Going
Yep.
into draft.
Infernal Shrines.
So, Diva is in fact allowed here, so it should be interesting to see if these teams value Diva.
I don't think so.
I think she's actually a very strong hero, and
I think there's
and
better picks for
and
this map.
especially on this map because the self-destruct, if you're like even on Shrine 2020, it's one of those abilities that should just guarantee you the Shrine, because the explosion does enough damage even at the edges to insta-kill skeletons, and you have to leave the Shrine when it pops.
Yeah, that. Oh,
Nah.
someone just fucking dropped. That's great. That's gonna give teams a little bit longer the time to see if they want to pick anyone. Well, they're instantly saying ready again, so
Okay.
that was Pichoneko. That dropped again.
Oh.
Phil's dance game, man.
Yeah.
I'll
Like,
get this.
this is actually like kind of confusing because like, alright.
So basically, the dude dropped because their last player came in at the end. Okay.
Alright, well, let's start this again. Hopefully we will not have any more difficulties.
That's one way to delay, I guess.
I guess. Okay, so Ponies before that disconnect, they banned the Haka. I would imagine that they will ban the Haka again.
Did they ban the hacker? I don't think the ban went through yet.
Well, I think it did, and well,
Well,
regardless, they are harboring it. So the Haka got buffed recently again. Race Car the Haka is possibly one of the most annoying things you've ever seen in this entire game, and
it is very good.
so
Running down mounted heroes seems like it's a little bit unfair. Just a bit, and especially because you can do it for so long. Daka still has decent enough clear for solo lane, and he has decent enough clear for Shrine. He has the global, so he can soak in the off lane during objectives. So Daka's always a good pick on this map.
though globals aren't as dominant here. You might still see the global, like now the global bans come through, but I'm not sure if it's actually the best call because this map is like it's compact enough that you can generally play around them. The objective is powerful enough. It's not split at all. You have one point that you need to contest over, so globals don't give you as much of an advantage, especially in the late game where the objective just scales so hard that if you get it, you're gonna be pushing keeps.
But you still see the gentleman's agreement on not having any up until now.
Yeah, they. So this means that Anubarak goes over to Ponies with no tricks.
Which
Cool.
already gives... This is going to give them already a great start into the draft.
And Malfurion and Arthas, so Greymane is going through still. I would have liked to see Greymane here over the Arthas, probably just because Greymane, in addition to cocktails allowing you to poke the shrine pretty effectively, it's also one of the most effective responses to Anubarak because Organ from Greymane deals so much auto attack damage, just Anubarak just can't stand there. He's not a tank anymore.
And Arthas, to a certain extent, when Arthas goes, he becomes a prime cocoon target because he can't heal yourself in that. And we see Gul'dan and Uther. Uther very early on,
Yeah, but
compared to what you usually would see him.
yeah, then again, there's already a lot of CC on the side of like any engaged tank would give them a really brutal engage combo, and if Nightmare was going to go for that, then they could simply just ban the Uther at this point, and where where Ponies to go for Oreo, then that would open up the Chromie counter pick. So I do understand it.
Uther is always a good pick right now, especially since the rework very dominant. Against comps with a lot of roots and stuns because Of course, the armor is pretty insane. Ariel being banned out
So
kind of makes sense because double support Ether Ariel is really strong.
and they do have the cooldown, so they already have a really strong wave clear. In terms of double support, Willy is still available, and Greymane banned out now. If you have a Nubarak, the enemy team has Arthas, you really don't want to give that one up.
Especially.
So definitely like that ban a lot. It was almost guaranteed to be picked up here. And now with the actually not sure where Nightmare can really go in this setup. They can't.
I think Vala.
Yeah.
Vala or Cassia here.
They might even
And
consider Unara.
yeah, something like that.
Though maybe not this early. They should look for their tank at least.
Yeah, I think you would want. Oh, sorry.
They Varian would be good, except that it I don't like Muradin here because of Shrine minions and Anubarak Beetles. Here, most of your Stormbolts are gonna whiff as a result. Johanna is a possibility, but it leaves your front line really immobile. You have a low engage potential, and they don't have a Lucio to cover up for it either. At that point, they'd have to pick Mini basically to fix it. And they go Vala Sonya, so
that's Arthas' main tank. It can work. It can work. It's a bit risky into the Cocoon again because Arthas will lose a lot of his power.
The problem
especially
is...
as also with Gul'dan. Gul'dan clears his ghouls pretty fast. So
the main thing I'm concerned with for Nightmare's draft here is just the lack of fight control. Because Abathur coming out. So I haven't seen Abathur a lot on this map, but it makes a lot of sense into a team that can't force, which is what's on the other side right now. That team cannot force fights. They can,
unless they go leap.
Unless they go leap, yeah, but then you're having Sonya lead the charge, which is not necessarily what you want either, especially into Uberak.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. They have a good lockdown. If Uther goes for Divine Storm as a counter, you basically just completely destroy Sonya once she leaps in. Which is not something you want to happen. Usually you would go leap when there's absolutely no way to stun Sonya in the backline, so she can jump in and then freely start whirlwinding people down. However, there is going to be Horrify, there's going to be a Nubarak. There's just, the moment Sonya leaps in, you can just cocoon someone from the remaining 4 people, deal with Sonya, just lock her down with the Nubarak stuns, with Uther stuns, and just win the fight from there, so it's not going to be leap. And there's no, besides that, there's no real engage potential, whereas on the other side, you have a few very good ways to start a fight.
So Unara coming out, there's no double support on the other team, it's basically just Uther, though Abathur does help. So I'm not sure, the fact that you can't force onto the Abathur team, which they can't really, not unless you go Sindragosa, which is an entire, it's an entirely new category of griefing. It makes things
sports.
It's gonna make things difficult against dealing with the Abathur pressure. The problem is that Nightmare can get shrines relatively easily. The ponies with no tricks can't really body in to that composition. There's insane shrine clear on the side of Nightmare. They will, if you actually engage into that, then if ponies actually try to go in and they just walk into Arthas, they're not gonna get out. Especially in the late game, they'll have to deal with the unfair advantage from with the Arthas woes. It's gonna be just permanent 40% reduced movement speed.
Yeah, I still think because of the lack of good engage and the fact that ponies with no tricks have a Nubarak and Gul'dan. Gul'dan by himself can basically clear a shrine alone. His clear is absolutely insane.
The thing is, you can't walk into Arthas to do it.
Yeah, that's true. But that's where an Uberak and Genji will come in to a certain extent to stop the Arthurs from getting in your face.
Yeah, if they can use Cocoon efficiently, just remove the artist, then they have potentially double Genji in the late game. Then possibly they can just delete one of the backliners, then they can win a fight.
Yeah, Vala and Lunara are very susceptible to Genji because their health is severely low and they don't really have any good escape tools from him because Genji is super mobile.
But we are in the game. So on the left hand side we have the Ponies with no tricks, with Patsku on the Abatur, Silver Fox on the Godan, Geben on Uther, Senrik on the Genji, and Yuke on the Anubarak.
And to the right side you have Nightmare with Che on Sonya, Kazar on Lunara, Chicho on Malfurion, Neo on Vala, and last but not least, Pichonako on the Arthas.
And on level 1 I would definitely like to see Ponies just play back and avoid this fight. They are the Abatur composition, they have no business taking a level 1 fight.
Yeah, definitely. The only reason you would really want to do anything here is probably Gul'dan throwing out a few Qs to get his stack starting, Uther stacking his W a little bit, but beside that, they don't want to be looking for an engage here. Aggressive route from Arthas going on to Gul'dan. Nothing really happening just yet, as both teams just skirmish it out in the middle. Genji is looking to go up to the top lane to deal with Sonya. That's not going to go well for Genji.
Then again, Hat will help, and it's not like they really have a better option. Godan is... You can't put Uther in there. Anubarak is your tank. You need the Godan for the wave clear. So
yeah, there's no better option, of course, but like Genji himself. That's the problem of not drafting a good solo laner. Sonya actually comes into the middle to do something, but okay, that basically makes her lose soak in the top lane, and Senrik is very wisely stopping her here with the Abatur head, actually chunking Sonya down very far. Not going to kill her, but
missed the dash there.
Yeah, so Sonya did lose a good 4 or 5 minions of soak there, and that's going to put Ponies from Utrecht into a little bit of a lead in the early game right now.
And level 1 talent, so the Shrine is spawning, level 1 talents look fairly standard. We have the Pursuit of Flame from Godan, Q build getting more and more popular. Regenerative Microbes, I like that with the Uther against the Lunara. It helps compensate a little bit. Uther with W build. Sonya with block, actually. I'm not sure about that one, because you don't need it to win the solo win, it doesn't help against Genji. Arthas didn't go for block, went for the Frost Presence.
Yeah, like especially because the only real source of auto attack damage from the side of Ponies from Utrecht is Genji, and one of his auto attacks is actually 3 auto attacks will one of his shuriken will still hit for full damage, and your block stacks are gone.
And bit of a slow rotation from Nightmare. Senrik just stalling them out here while three skeletons are picked up by Silver Fox. 16 already picked up before Nightmare even gets here. They have now started to pick this up, but Abatur is now free soaking in the bot lane, and Nightmare finally getting a position, but they have quite a deficit to make up if they want to pick up the Shrine. Huge chunk from the Godan, and Arthas actually goes down. So well played by the Ponies, that should guarantee them the Shrine.
Yeah, that's going to be Shrine towards Ponies. In the bot lane, that's take down a tower, and it is clearing some of the minions down. Abatur not really in a position yet to be able to do that effectively, as Sonya goes to the mid lane, and probably going to be soaking up a little bit. And Ponies from Utrecht is going to be able to push this in to probably take down towers, but nothing more.
Their composition... Right now, Ponies with no tricks are already doing better than their composition should at this stage of the game. They have the Abatur comp, but they just won the first objective.
Yeah.
Into an Arthas. That's not really what should be happening here.
Nightmare... By killing the Arthas, even.
Nightmare got punished for their slow rotation. and now Ponies, they're gonna get some structure damage here. They're gonna further their XP lead, not even actually getting the front wall, the first Punisher. being fairly weak, especially since Genji had already split off from the team.
Yeah, and they were both focusing different towers. They weren't all focusing on one of them. So, I mean, the next time that most of Nightmare leaves this lane, Gul'dan will be able to just walk up and kill both of the towers, as he's doing right now. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Abathur is meanwhile soaking bot lane still, as most of Nightmare is meanwhile in the mid lane. I don't understand why Sonya keeps leaving the solo. They're losing experience all over the map right now. They're already a level behind. They need to be very careful with their soak. Senric gets caught a little bit, but he's going to be able to be fine with the Abathur shield.
Fenric getting caught a little bit, but then weaving seems to be a recurring trend in this game. And teams re-establishing their rotations. Ponies with no tricks already going for the hard camp. That's gonna threaten the well in that lane. Sonya also going for the top camp. Abathur could soak this, but it doesn't look like he is doing so.
And Abathur right now is staying safe.
No, I mean with that. But yeah. Genji goes over to get that soak. Just making sure they keep their lead over Nightmare. And both bruiser camps have been picked up. Arthas going top to clear. They're gonna Nightmare is gonna look to clear this. And right now, Ponies have no presence in that lane, so they will.
Oh, Silver got by Root here in the middle.
But there's no Vala here.
He's probably still going to die because of Arthas.
Unless Geben has another heal now. Good body blocks, and Geben saves him, and Senric manages to get the counter kill in the back.
That was perfect play from Ponies with no tricks. Senric going into the backline, the moment that they really needed to start finishing off the Gul'dan kill. I mean, saved Gul'dan there. Like, Arthas had to try and peel back for his team, but at that point it was already too late. And they actually didn't even get the kill on Gul'dan. That was... And now level 10 is going to hit for the next Punisher.
Looks like Silver Fox might walk into this. Sonya misses the spear.
Feels bad, man.
And Vala is in trouble in the mid lane. This could
Vala's
be a
dead.
kill. Yeah. Senric dashing through the... Horrify, but that's...
That was very optimistic.
Yeah, it pushed the Sonya in the wrong direction. Not really what you want for that, but still 10 advantage is still here. Yuke has not even chosen his heroic yet. You would expect the Cocoon.
Yeah, even though he's solo tank, Cocoon is such a strong ability. We actually see Weep Sword for Genji, not X-Strike. We see Divine Storm, Horrify, and obvious Evolution for Abathur.
Yeah. Divine Storm.
Yeah, Divine Storm makes sense.
But it's interesting to pick Divine Storm and the Weeb Sword, though.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm a little bit surprised by Weep Sword. But to be fair, there's no real hard counter, like hard CC, hard stuns. Weep Sword. There's roots, but that's about it.
Yeah, Senric has been having a fairly free game so far, going into the backline again.
I think that's why he picked it, because so far it's not really been anyone to him in the back. Patsuko going for the ultimate evolution is going to do a little bit of damage, but nothing too major right now. And that is going to secure the fort in the bot lane.
Yeah, that will be the first fort of the game. And pretty good damage coming out of the cooldown, but they're just gonna peel back now. Abathur and Sonya in the top lane. Actually, Ponies could take this fight. This is a 5v4. Sonya has no way to get in here, and Vala getting caught out a little bit. Twilight Dream comes out to peel for the Vala.
There comes Weep Sword. Weep Sword taking a lot of damage to Malfurion and Vala.
But Senric walked in, dashed through the towers, didn't confirm the kill, so he didn't have the return dash, and he died, but Malfurion goes down anyway. So...
He confirms the kill just a second too late on the Malfurion for him to be able to dash out again. Still 2-for-1 trade at this point. It is still in favor for Ponies with no tricks. They're going to hit level 13 long before Nightmare, and the next Punisher should spawn before Nightmare should be able to get their 13. So this still is a fairly big advantage for them. So we see well met for Abathur, for Uther, it's a standard talent pretty much on him 13. Healthstone, Soma Transference, even more healing for Abatur, Shingan, and Acid Drenched Mandibles. So we're going for the standard build so far, nothing really out of the ordinary.
Yeah, looking pretty standard so far. Weeping Strike is maybe a bit debatable because you're trying to have the combination of Arthas Lunara for just spread damage value, but then again you're up against Genji, so you want the escape.
Yeah, the escape is really nice because the moment Genji dashes in, and you use Leaping Strike to get away from him, there's no real way for him to overtake you again. And if he uses his jump too, then you can just Leaping Strike again. And then at that point, there's no way Genji should physically be able to get back to you for a little bit.
So, Nightmare can reach 13 in time for this. They're gonna get it off the midway. So this is an opportunity for them. It's also a significant power spike for them because of unfair advantage. That's gonna make
life and all.
Yeah, that's gonna make Unara way more threatening. Looks like they were going for the camp, but realized they don't quite have the time for it. They need to get onto the shrine now before the ponies pick up too much of an advantage.
Now another talent I don't really like that we see right now.
Oh, good
Ice
horse.
Sphere coming down.
And that should be Sonya going down, but
Divine Storm and but Senrik finishing that off. Petku in the back, killing off Vala. Senrik having a field day over here with Sweep Sword. Osmofurian dies as well. Arthas was caught in the cocoon, and he is going to die now as well. Oh, yeah, there he goes. And, Petku even going on to Lunara. In the end, not going to be able to kill her because of the duration left. But, yeah, that is going to be at least a fourth, and with 16 dropping, maybe even at this point.
Lunara actually in trouble, but there's the Weeping Strike value. Gets out thanks to it. Top is actually also dying to the camp while this is happening, so this should be all forts going down. Sonya actually overextending a little bit, but does get out. Ponies choosing not to dive that kill. But they've reached 16, they are now 3 levels ahead of their opponents, and that's gonna be so that's gonna be all forts basically for free. This is
Yeah, they need to send someone top to deal with that before it dies.
Yeah, it's
that
rapidly
should
dying.
save it. They should save it.
Yeah, they barely do.
Oh nope, they won't. Abatur will confirm the kill on that. But this still should be keep. I don't see any real without Twilight Dream being up and all of the ults for Ponies with no trick being up for a fight. Well, I mean, Twilight Dream will be up soon, but I still think with 16 advantage, this should be, if anything, at least a chunk of the keep being gone.
Yeah, the sieging composition for Ponies is pretty mediocre, though really it's just Godan who's relevant in a siege like this. So, yeah, they actually can't do that much there. They've lost the minion wave, they don't want to dive too deep, they got the front wall, and with the split pressure, they managed to peel off all the forts. They're gonna get a significant XP with. Thing is, they are pretty happy to just stall this game out. There's a Lunara on the other side, but apart from that, the scaling is to their favor, just because of Abatur.
Senrik needs to be a little bit careful, but he should be able to get out.
Actually gets rooted, but there's no more follow-up, so he will be fine.
He still had his dash up as well, so without any follow-up lockdown, there was no way he was really going to be able to be shut down there. Almost finishing off his Shuriken Mastery talent on level 4 as well. He's just 7 hits away from finishing off that, giving him 2 more charges of his Shuriken when he jumps, which is a pretty nice talent for some extra sieging power, especially with Shingan. You can actually siege surprisingly well with Genji with Shingan and Shuriken Mastery completed.
And Abatur has committed fully. Oh, nice Horrify again, isolating the Arthas. He might go down here. That will be army pop. There
he goes.
And
you can't heal when you're stunned. There goes Senrik as well, going into the backline.
Pascu also with the clone. And
that should be a dead Malfurion. Oh, Twilight Dream actually being popped. But with the keep going down here, that might even be game. The death timers are fairly long at this point in time. There's half a minute left before everyone will be up.
Sonya now backing, but it may well be
Sonya
too
going
late.
back a second too late. right.
And there's
getting cocooned as well.
yeah, it wasn't even needed in the last fight. And it does not look like... He's trying to spin, gets immediately stunned by Uther, and looks like that will be game 1. Going over to the Ponies with no tricks.
Yeah, that was a fairly one-sided game in the end.
Yeah,
I think it was how many kills for Nightmare in the end?
I believe 1. It was 1.
Kill.
13 to 1. Cendric the only feeder.
Oh yeah, Cendric fed in the bot lane, dying for a Malfurion kill, but like that was kind of the problem with their comp, was that there was no real way to shut down Genji. The moment he would go in, yes, there would be a Malfurion with Twilight Dream, but beside that, there was no real way to stop Genji from doing whatever he wanted. There was just Malfurion roots and Arthas roots. As hard CC, the rest was just non-existent, and that kind of fucked him over. As we looking at damage right now, Sonya only dealing 4,000 damage. Sonya actually being the lowest damage in that game by a small margin compared to Malfurion, but by a pretty big margin compared to everyone else. Yeah, that was...
Alright, so now Nightmare needs to choose between first pick or map pick. They have informed me that they are choosing pick, which is in fact not terribly helpful. So we are still waiting on a response from the team.
Pick. I think they'll go for first pick.
It sounds like it, but this was not clear. If they do go for first pick, then Ponies with no tricks needs to choose a map.
Saying pick
Okay.
when you ask for first pick or map pick is kind of grief.
Alright, looks like Nightmare want to first pick. So
I mean, it's fairly standard to go for first pick most of the time.
In Heroes Launch, I've mostly seen map picks, to be honest. I think most teams are more like a lot of shot callers aren't equally comfortable on all maps, and a lot of teams just have comfort maps, I think, and often the understanding of the meta isn't so refined that like if you're the better drafter, you'll win the draft regardless of your first or second pick, so it kind of doesn't matter in that sense. And if
I think that this is mostly applies for like Division 4-5-3 and lower Division 2.
I'd say it applies
I
to
think
every division.
I think like mostly for what I've seen from higher Division 1 games and some of the higher end Division 2 games, map pick is never really the option. Most of the time teams will go for first pick because you just gain more from it usually. Being able to get like that first ban in, like dictating how the draft goes early on, as very nice.
Looks like no one bet on Nightmare, and
no one lost money.
Yeah, no one lost points.
I think this was a pretty expected result then so far.
Yeah.
From people in the lounge. But I mean, they're not out yet. They still have one more game. It's still 6.5 out of 10. No comeback mechanics.
Maybe we have some stinky cheese coming up.
Maybe. That's really the reason why you would want to pick if you have like something special for that map. Otherwise, just waiting for the opponents with no tricks to get into the lobby, and then we'll get started. Waiting on 3 of them for now.
Yeah, we need. Believe we have Geben, Silverfox is here, but Geben, Cendric, and Yuke are still somewhere
doing things.
Indeed.
Chicho is calling ready when half of NTP is still not even in the lobby. Feels good, man.
I mean, maybe they think 5v2 would be fair. Seems pretty reasonable to me.
Maybe they can win then. Spät it. He even says it himself.
Alright, but all of Ponies are here now, so let's see if the teams are ready.
No portrait synergy dance game from either team. I mean, the Ponies do all have the Billy mount, but not the same. Doesn't count.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of have portrait synergy. It's like a similar portrait.
It's not the same. Doesn't count. Paper Age.
It's partial portrait synergy.
Still better than no portrait synergy.
Exactly.
Match history of.
I mean, the results of these games and the drafts are gonna be public anyway, so. But we are ready to start, so let's go into the draft.
Let's go.
So we shouldn't expect the global rotation to happen again. Global is simply not very valuable on this map.
Yeah, especially because of this. This is basically the same as Infernal Shrines to an even more extreme extent. Because of how small the map is, you don't really get any side soak most of the time. You just need to be able to rotate better than your team and have a better 4-man most of the time. That will give you a fairly good early game, and a good early game is something that's on this map.
Yeah, Godan rises up a lot. Are probably the best wave clear hero in the game. Means that if you have the Godan, you should be able to win the rotation at that point.
Yeah. Also, some heroes that are, but not for like wave clear or early game pressure, is a hero like Nazebo. Nazebo, because of the way the map is how small the map is, has a very easy time stacking up his viral infection. And if you hit level 20 on this map with Nazebo, yeah, that is going to be a lot more than 175 stacks. That's going to be like 200, 300 at least at that point in the game.
Anubarak banned out that I think builds to the Godan pick, and Oreo banned out in response. Ponies also expecting that exact thing to happen. They don't want Godan Oreo to be a possibility. So, but I would still expect Godan to be picked here, like. Though
yeah, I'd expect that as well.
It's less valuable because it no longer threatens Oreo that was already banned out, but they go for it anyway. So Godan has been picked up by Nightmare, and now the double pick. The obvious answer here would be like Mouth Greymane. Greymane gives you reasonable wave clear Malfurion, and also not terrible in that department. Greymane also gives you a possible solo winner, and is just one of the best assassins in the game at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I think going for Greymane and potentially Malfurion if you want him here, that wouldn't be a bad call.
I think Mouth should be picked here because they're already looting the support bowl. They first banned Oreo, so like at this point, if you don't pick up your support, then Nightmare will certainly will, and then they can ban another one, and then you're gonna actually start to run out of options. Chromie Mouth.
Chromie very early on in it. Really something you would usually see. Chromie would usually be a back half pick, but putting it so early on, this should give Nightmare enough time to respond to it correctly by going into a very, very heavy gear build for a draft. That is usually the best way to counter a Chromie draft, is by just clearing so hard that Chromie will never be in a position where she can safely start firing at you. Especially on this map. Either that or you go for like a Stitches blow-up comp, try to get people away from the Chromie, so they're always in a 4v situation where they can step up and try to fight you.
Someone actually bet for Nightmare Nightmare this time around, so...
Someone's going to lose their money to bait it.
Kappa.
Keppa, keppa.
But, so Nightmare taking their time with this, they go for the Uther, so... Here's an interesting dilemma, by the way. If you go for... The Guardian of Ancient Kings doesn't do anything against Temporal Loop.
It doesn't do anything against slowing sense either.
Yeah, so... I can see that kind of being the rationale. You've forced... They're kind of forcing the Uther to be picked up at this stage. But Uther doesn't exactly help you against Chromie. He has... his best anti-CC tool actually doesn't help against Temporal Loop. He has...
You can still pick up Cleanse, though.
He can pick up Cleanse, but... Like... You're...
He should potentially hold his level 7 just to make sure that Chromie doesn't go for Temporal Loop.
But even then, like... It's not a good response to Swallowing Sands, it's not a good response to... And he doesn't have any good responses to the...
Greymane, potentially.
No, I mean, like, he doesn't have any good responses to the poke.
Yeah. Nara ban, potentially, here.
That's strange, like, you would almost think that they would themselves want for Nara. Go down already picked up by the other side. They look to ban Vala instead, that makes a bit more sense.
They're just trying to choke out DPS here, I think, so that they can have the freedom to pick whichever one they want and limit the choices of Team Nightmare even more. Unless they're gonna go for a double support with Gul'dan solo DPS, which can work on this map, but if you're going with the Diablo, which usually would mean that you want to just blow up people as fast as possible, you would really want 2 DPSs with that. Usually.
So, Diablo gives you reasonable engage potential against the Chromie, but with an Uberak already banned out by themselves even, it's a reasonable pickup. This map is pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of terrain all over the place, especially around the turn-ins. Diablo has a very fun time smacking people into walls and stuff. But I do think that they're going to need a little bit more to justify the Diablo pick here. I think he is alone. Like, there's no, like, if Diablo charges in and there's no real way for Nightmare to follow up on that Diablo charge in, then he's just not going to gain any value whatsoever.
So yeah, Johanna picked up. So they have the poke composition. Johanna is very resilient against lockdown and just against getting. It also gives them Waker, which they kind of lack. Not really vulnerable to the Diablo combo. You can just Iron Skin it.
Yeah, as well as the Johanna just makes it so your team doesn't get out cleared here. If Johanna were on the other side, or they're picking up Lunara themselves here into the Uther, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I would almost like to see at this point either double support or Medivh. Like Medivh, assume the thing is it would be a very execution heavy draft, but it would allow you to
stop Chromie.
Yeah, and also Medivh Diablo, you like remove Diablo's weakness of having an escape. You have insane engage range. Like Chromie has to play really safe suddenly.
I think Medivh just in general counters. And if you go for Medivh, then Uther doesn't need to worry about having to pick up Cleanse potentially, because you can just protective the Chromie Temporal Loop should she pick it up. So that just takes away that weakness as well. I really like the Medivh actually in this draft.
According to Guitarra in the chat, Nightmare actually has a strong Medivh player, so are they going for it? No, Leoric. So, Leoric is good against the Johanna. It's also a bot laner that can't die to Temporal Loop, which is a consideration. You can... Because, like, something you can do with Chromie is that, like, the moment you hit 8, you just rotate bot. If the solo laner is someone who can die to Temporal Loop, you just kill the solo laner. And then you force turn-in.
Genji again.
This is...
No.
I'm wondering who they're gonna put bot lane.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking now
guess
as well.
Lunara.
I think, but
Or
like
do they...
Lunara would be able to meme Leoric pretty hard. To be fair, like Leoric shouldn't be able to land this drain on Lunara at any point, and Lunara can clear reasonably well. It's not as that good, but it's definitely better than putting Genji in the solo lane.
They have... I'm a bit confused by the Genji pick. I would have expected like a traditional bruiser that makes your... Like, it would have made the front line more resilient against the Diablo Greymane. But...
I would have expected something like a Sonya here. Sonya or maybe the Haka even though it's not one of his better maps, the Haka is very good at just the moment that the Diablo charges in, just peel him away from the person he's charged on by dragging him away. So I'm a little bit confused as well. So they're basically running triple backline at this point.
Yeah,
As much
kind
as
of.
Genji is a pretty good is a dive hero and he can be pretty much melee most of the time. He is in the end a very squishy ranged assassin
Yeah,
with a lot of dive.
and this time there's a lot more CC on the side of Nightmare. Maybe Senua just wanted to play Genji. It's entirely possible. But we are in the game again. The left-hand side, we have the Ponies with no tricks, with Senric on the Genji, Batsku on Chromie, Geben on the Malfurion, Silver Fox on the Lunara, and Yuke on the Johanna.
And to the right side, once again, Nightmare, Titchet on Leoric this time, Neo again on Gul'dan, as we hear a Johanna voice line. We see Pichonako on Diablo, Chicho on Uther, and last but not least, we have Kazar on Greymane.
And
so,
level 1 talents looking fairly normal. We have the Time Walker's Pursuit, we have the Natural Perspective, Agile Dismount, Moonburn. They want more wave clear. They have and they have enough reveals already, enough vision control tools.
Yeah.
Gul'dan and Johanna still holding. I would expect to see the Regeneration Master, and Echoed Corruption has been picked up by Gul'dan.
Yike is meanwhile just doing his thing.
Okay, he picks
voice
it up
lighting,
now.
spraying and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pre-game still, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Actually, Genji going bot lane. That does... It kind of works against Leoric. Like, you get out cleared, but you can easily clear the drain because you have so many dashes. And the Chromie poke already doing a lot of work. Greymane dives in for some damage though, and so far the rotation looks relatively even. Nightmare having more wave clear. The Diablo getting chunked down massively, that's a root, but
He might be dead.
It doesn't look like
it's
it.
going to be fine.
Yeah.
This Greymane takes a Chromie Q to the face.
And
yeah, this might be if this keeps happening, like how chunked Nightmare
Diablo
already is.
Diablo going in, but he's kind of alone there, and he's gonna take a lot of poke as he tries to retreat from the middle of the enemy team. So, wants to get on the Chromie, but if his team is chunked and zoned by Johanna, then... And you can't dive in alone. You're gonna lose that trade. Lunara going bot lane to harass the Leoric out a little bit. Senric has been losing this lane just because of the sheer wave clear that Leoric does have. But that rotation costs them a little bit in the rotation, but now they're getting zoned. Oh, that's a nice charge onto the Malfurion, but not able to confirm the kill again. And
he might pay for it with his life here. Yeah, he is going to die. That's a dead Diablo.
Unless Uther comes... No, not quite in time.
Just a second too late.
Was able to at least... they were able to save the gems at least, so... And so no... And Ponies weren't able to pick up those gems either, so no advantage there again, but... Still, the kill helps them...
Experience gain.
Experience gain, get ahead in the rotation, and does...
I actually see Holy Shock on Uther over Holy Fire in this.
they do have enough wave core already. And Uther backing for mana, having to heal up all this Chromie poke is quite taxing.
Yeah. Oh, nice charge on Johanna, but it's not going to do anything. Yeah, it's Johanna.
Senric still having some trouble. Hopelessness actually allowing the Che to keep up with some of the Genji dashes and just keep the drain on for a little bit.
Yeah, but Leoric still needs to be a little bit careful. Here he misses a hopelessness now. We see for Chromie already on level 5 now with Dragon's Eye, basically standard build from every.
And there's
a fight happening in the mid lane. That might be a dead Leoric.
Extremely low, and there's gonna be the Chromie shot. Takes him down. He is a Leoric, so he will be back relatively quickly, but that's another kill for Ponies, getting them even further ahead in experience. Malfurion will...
Leoric is going to lose a lot of experience in the bot lane as a result. And this should allow a free turn in as well for now.
Yeah, Unara getting 5 gems in, that's not most of
gems are Sandrick right now.
Yeah, they do need to rotate someone over because Leoric has too much wave clear. As a result, too much vision control to allow that turn-in to happen. UK also needs to find a turn-in, so 2 heroes that Geben getting caught out here a little bit might actually get taken out, but excellent route. And again, the return damage is just massive. Silver Fox didn't confirm that kill on the Uther.
Maybe Greymane will die though.
Nope,
he will just survive.
But
moves out of the way. That is a very nice combo actually. I didn't even expect that much. Like, Chromie and Lunara with natural perspective actually always has vision of people as long as there's poison on them. That makes it very annoying to stay behind towers because you are never safe because the Chromie will constantly know where you are.
And that amount of chunk allowed. There's the combo, but cleansed.
Yeah, Uther did pick up the Hand of Protection at level 7 to counter the temporal loop, as expected. And he might be able to get like some value.
Silver Fox trying to juke around, doesn't have a Weeping Strike yet, does get out. And
as Greymane, just dodges the Chromie Q.
Yeah, nice disengage there.
The York's turning in the bottom lane, but Senric should be able to stop that. Senric actually holding 30 coins right now.
Yeah, the problem is Senric also can turn in as long as we are there. Thing is, UK also has enough gems. She might be easier to split him off for long enough. Geben also trying to get him. He doesn't actually have enough and does get interrupted by the Diablo.
Yeah, still, this should eventually, because of level 10 will hit earlier for Ponies with no tricks. That should eventually give them the...
We are making the rotation into mid. Geben getting caught out, but again, good route to just zone out the Diablo. Not gonna get charged, and again, as long as Nightmare... Oh, there's another temporal loop and gets the Greymane.
And that's a dead Greymane. There was no cleanse this time. It was still on. It was on a 4-second cooldown.
Feels bad, man.
That feels very bad, man. Yeah, that's not really much you can do about that at that point. But I mean, don't see temporal loop that much as we see a charge from Diablo onto Patsku, but Patsku is just going to be fine. There's no real follow-up damage. That's kind of the problem, especially because Greymane was dead. There's no real way for Uther or Gul'dan to really follow up on any of those charges.
Interesting.
The first turn-in is in.
Yeah, so mid lane having already lost the front wall is gonna take pretty substantial amount of damage. It's gonna get the fort to almost half health. UK going in quite aggressively. There's no more front wall there. He's gonna have... Oh, the stun was wasted on the Iron Skin. He uses his ult to disengage. They actually burnt quite a few outs there. Oh, Neo almost gets taken out. Wait, we already died in the bot lane to Genji. Missed that.
Yeah, to Weep Sword. Weep Sword picked again by Senric, taking down Leoric. Leoric was constantly getting chunked by him already, and actually dying now as well.
And mid fort has been taken out. Top fort also taking a lot of damage. Diablo needs bit of help to really clear this. Might actually lose the force still. There's gonna be the wave. Not quite.
Like with both forts being so low, I think they can just rotate Chromie around and poke at it with Dragon's Eye 2 times and just kill it. We see standard ults coming out for both teams. We see Divine Shield actually over over Divine Storm here, which I can certainly see why Uther would pick that at this point.
Weeb Sword and Torwood Wind are kind of interesting though. Like, Silver Fox doesn't have a lot of protection and there's a lot of CC on the other team. I would have expected the CX strike here, as well as Whipping Strike, just to give both of these heroes more personal safety. But good route coming out.
I think Leaping Strike actually puts her in risk of getting a bit wrecked by Diablo if she doesn't use it when Diablo, like if you damage at one point, then Diablo can take that as a signal to start to engage on Porn especially if you use it aggressively. I think Stormwood Vines will just be yeah, but I think at this point Stormwood Vines, with the amount of poke that they already have, just allows for more poke and just makes every single fight that Nightmare wants to take unfavorable for them, because they'll be on half health by the time that the fight actually starts.
And Doom misses. Good juke by UK, and he's out of mana though. I think they actually, but they get another turn in actually just stalling with 3 people in the mid lane, while
Bolt Fort is definitely going to go down to this wave already.
The question is how much damage can they do to keep walls?
Looking from the posturing they're going to try to mid keep.
Yeah,
it will spawn right in front of the gate as well.
Yeah, the tower already down. That's will not help Nightmare in any way. And Diablo and Leoric have split off, but so has the Genji. So.
Yeah, he's going to look for that 4th kill, and then he's probably going to join his team. Still all 32 coins. Not really turned in too much yet. They're just going to force for keep walls right now. They don't really need to keep yet, especially because Entomb and Apocalypse and everything is up, so they need to be a little bit careful about that.
So one front wall taken out. Bot Web Weavers hasn't been dealt with at all yet, and Nightmare has rotated top, which means
top
that
front wall taking a lot of damage as well. It's out of ammo. One of the towers is dead, and the bot front wall is going to go down.
So Ponies can. Oh, Unara actually gets picked in the mid lane
by Greymane. That was a good kill. That's exactly what they needed. Now they can try to counter engage. Johanna gets called here in here by the Entomb. Apok going down.
But that's
Greymane going to get
and Weeb Sword coming out, and that's gonna be Leoric going down. Greymane might get taken down by the
Chromie. Yeah. He will. Greymane getting destroyed pretty much by Temporal Loop. He was going for the flank, and Chromie sniffed it out, Temporal Looped him, and put him on such a low amount of HP that he was pretty much stuck in the bruiser pit there. To the right was most of Ponies with no traction, to the left was Chromie.
Now Genji getting caught out a bit, but good cleanse from Geben stops the Uther follow-up CC, and right now.
Oh, that's a dead Diablo.
No, D-Shield coming out. Fenric coming back in though, and he might be able to confirm this. Everyone is so low.
Leoric will die again.
Yeah. So
that Divine Shield. Diablo had 36 HP when that landed.
So Nightmare, I think, feeling a little bit desperate there. They took that fight 3 levels down. The problem is they're not gonna find a fair fight in this entire game ever again. As this is going. They're gonna the pick onto Unara was perhaps their best chance, but they still lost what was essentially a 4v5 because of the scaling advantage. It was like talent and 3 levels that they were down. And
yeah, exactly. It was just especially because Greymane went for a flank and he got basically deleted instantly. Meanwhile, Senric going ham on. He's actually going ham again on Leoric. He will be able to confirm that kill.
Horrify misses, but But Greymane actually...
does confirm the kill. It's still 4v4 here, and Greymane, unless he gets cleansed here, he will die. He's going to get cleansed out.
Yeah.
But another turn in. This is now the third turn in for Ponies with no tricks, and the fight that's happening right now, this will at least be keep, if not more.
Good PO coming out there though. Saves the Godan, make sure that they can't chase into the keep to finish that kill. And this might actually be a successful defense since Genji is still not here and Leoric was back relatively quick. You never want to trade out for a Leoric, especially if you are 3 levels up as Ponies are, so... That's gonna slow down their siege quite significantly.
Yeah, but still, like, Nightmare has to deal with the other web weavers. Mid keep is almost down, bot keep is on half health,
and top keep will
and they
go
just
down.
take the time to just kill top keep instead. They have the time to do this.
And
with level 16 advantage in a 5v5, there's no way Nightmare can actually take this fight right now.
So, but because of
looking for the fighter, Lunar getting caught to the Entomb.
Good combo there though, but Gudan goes down mainly to the Twilight Dream there, but Gudan also taken out by the Greymane there. Patsuko with the Temporal Loop mainly for self PO.
Meanwhile, how low everyone is on the right.
And Genji cleans up.
That is going to be Senvik just killing everything. That is. Leoric is going to pick up 20 of those gems, but if he didn't, that is still like 50 gems lost. Greymane going down the bottom here as well. It's another 10 gems that they need to pick up. They just about get half of them. They had about 110 gems before that engagement, and now they have 50.
Managed to raid walk the...
Yeah.
Oh, what? Did Genji spray or something by accident or
I did not see it.
I'm not sure what that's referring to.
We'll have to ask him after the game. He probably B-stepped or something then that we must have missed that.
Maybe someone from the chat knows. But
I'll check in chat if he did. Actually, it's already too late. It's already happened.
Okay, apparently there was a B-step. Alright. And again, Roots coming down to stop the chase. This is actually pretty much the only time that Nightmare will be on even talent tiers, but no trick ponies ponies can easily just peel back. And Nightmare is holding on to a massive bank of gems, but they have to back to defend their base. And
like even if a fight starts right now, they can just sacrifice Johanna to peel away from them with Contan and Blessed Shield, and as much as that will just allow them to give a turn in a way, which is happening right now anyway. Neo is going to get
nice horrify though, but and Divine Shield might actually be able to save the Godan there, but Quenz was late on the Greymane and he gets taken out by the combination of Temporal Loop and Lunara damage. Geben getting entombed, but Leoric actually misses a drain in his own entomb, and as such Geben easily just walks away from that engage. Godan gets taken out.
That is...
Yeah, that's probably...
There is even with the web weavers pushing away the lanes right now, there is no way they're going to be able to stop this. And you have Storm Shield and Bolt the Storm. We have pretty much everything they need to stop this push. Diablo's going to try whatever he can with you. It's just going to hasten his own demise.
And that will be game 2 going over to Ponies with no tricks, taking the series in fairly dominant fashion.
Pretty much